Hi, how are you? Good, very good.
Thank you.
Are you working here?
No. I came as a customer.
You, I stay here. Come with me. No. You live with your parents?
Yes, I live.
Этот вечер снова ждет тебя другой. Это он украл любовь у нас с тобой. Не ходи к нему, навстречу не ходи.
Chinese Uber female drivers are protesting the platform together, all because of a single feature update. Didi, often called the Chinese version of Uber, the platform introduced an option that lets female passengers match only with female drivers. The goal was to improve safety and comfort for women. However, many female drivers say the change has created new problems.
She's saying she don't feel safe, but she refuses to get out. She can go right to the business over there. There's chairs. She can sit there with her things and wait for her next Uber.
He's gonna drive off of my packages. I mean, this is like.
You don't cook and you don't clean.
No, because when the default goes for women to cook and clean in a relationship, then I think that's also why so many people are struggling in relationships, because that's labor.
When women make their own money, the last thing they want to do is support a man. Last thing they want to do is support a man.
Believe it or not, no. When women make good money, they don't. When women make money, they don't need a man because they make enough money. They have support.
Okay, repeat that sentence again.
At the end of the day, all men want is to watch football, drink light beers in a jerk circle with each other, and just like be gay for each other. That's what they really want. They don't want to be in a relationship. They don't want to get married.
No! Stop playing!
Everything should be 50-50 because it's an equal partnership. Just say you don't understand the value of feminine energy and move on. This is why women hate a lot of straight men, why we detest them.
Hi, today I want to explore something that doesn't usually get said out loud. If you look closely at modern dating culture, you will notice there is a shift. And so today we'll be looking at some real-world clips that tells us exactly where that shift is headed. If you stick with me to the end of the video, you will see how all these patterns connect to something much more bigger than just viral moments. Let's get into this.
Chinese Uber female drivers are protesting the platform together, all because of a single feature update. Didi, often called the Chinese version of Uber, the platform introduced an option that lets female passengers match only with female drivers. The goal was to improve safety and comfort for women. However, many female drivers say the change has created new problems. Some female passengers had complained about male drivers. They said some cars were messy, had bad smells, or that some drivers were rude. A few also said they felt unsafe. In response, Didi rolled out the women-only matching feature. But several female drivers are now protesting. They say many female passengers treat them with the same behavior they once criticized. Some passengers arrive 10 to 20 minutes late. Others ask to be dropped off in no parking zones and get angry if the driver refuses. Some even demand help with heavy luggage. Drivers say these situations happen often. Because of the feature, many female drivers now get mostly female passengers, which has created tension between women on both sides. Meanwhile, some male drivers support the update. They say they feel less pressure and have seen their ratings improve. The debate is still growing online. Some drivers ask if the policy is truly fair. If you were a female driver, would you accept this update?
So this is a ride-sharing platform in China, I think, and something like Uber and all of that. And the policy was actually created to increase safety and comfort for women because women requested that this feature be on the app. Basically, they feel unsafe with a male driver. But the interesting thing is that even female drivers are now saying that these same female passengers are the hardest to deal with. So the female drivers have reported aggression, they've reported tardiness, they've reported, drama that comes with women to women relationship. And meanwhile, on the other hand, the male drivers are reporting less stress and better ratings after the change. Men are saying, company, please keep this feature on. We don't want to change. The other interesting thing is that male drivers report less stress and better ratings after the change. So it's working for the male drivers. Meanwhile, but the female drivers are not having, a field day at all. They want the company to remove the feature. I'm going to play another video and then we can now compare and contrast and reach a final conclusion on this. Stay with me.
She's saying she don't feel safe, but she refuses to get out. She can go right to the business over there. There's chairs. She can sit there with her things and wait for her next Uber.
She's gonna drive off with my packages. I mean, this is like...
Okay, so this is another interesting video, and is in contrast to the other one where the women are asking to have female drivers. So this is an Uber driver who is the same time recording what is going on in his car. So the female passenger, as you can see, is already recording him and reporting on the phone that she feels unsafe. This is what saves men in these times is, guys, please invest in your cam dash or dash cam. Yeah, just buy a dash cam and put it on your dashboard to take a recording of everything that is going on, especially when you have female passengers, because these women would level all form of allegations against you and they will be believed without any form of evidence. And so what does this tell us? It tells us that in today's climate, public accusation or just the feeling of unsafe from a woman, it can damage a man's reputation, right? It damages his reputation. It goes viral online very fast, like the DoorDash case. I think you guys remember the DoorDash case. It will affect the man's employment. It will trigger platform hate. It will lead to investigation. It will just lead to a whole mess for this man. And so for men, it is more about, it's not even about the physical, because a man will always overcome a woman physically when it comes to physical combat. But it's more about reputation and the legal consequences that comes with all of this kind of accusations from women. Men respond with, if being with a woman alone can put me at risk, I'd reduce exposure. And this is just called risk management. Men are beginning to avoid being alone with women in professional setting. They avoid mentoring, right? They avoid giving rides or closed door meetings because anything can come out of it from that woman. And if men continue to see this repeatedly, if all of these situations continue to happen in public spaces and workspaces and with public policies and all of that, men will just retreat. They will say, as they are doing already, I don't want to do this, because rather better safe than sorry. All right, fellas, if you have watched to this point, please subscribe to this channel. This is what gets this channel out there. This is what encourages me to do more videos. Like the video, watch the other videos I've made, and subscribe to the channel, right? Drop your comments. I'd really love to hear from you, fellas. I'd really love to hear from you, viewers, people who watch this. It keeps the channel running. Yeah, it helps the algorithm. So drop your likes, drop your comments, and please subscribe to the channel to get it on.
When women make their own money, the last thing they want to do is support a man. The last thing they want to do is support a man.
Believe it or not, no. When women make good money, they don't. When women make money, they don't need a man because they make enough money. They have support.
Okay, repeat that sentence again.
When women make enough money, they don't really need a man.
Okay,
because
say that one more time again.
When
women make what? What did you say? When women make money?
Enough money, they really don't need a man.
You do understand your sentence just defeated your entire argument, right?
No, it didn't. It didn't. But that's what I'm saying. You said women cannot be able to fight off or fend for the household if they couldn't pay rent.
At the end of the day, all men want is to watch football, drink light beers in a jerk circle with each other, and just be gay for each other. That's what they really want. They don't want to be in a relationship. They don't want to get married. Because women can provide for themselves now, I feel like men have lost their purpose. They don't feel the need to seek out a woman and start a family. They don't feel the need to work really hard to make a bunch of money to make a family and provide for a woman. Like, they don't want to do that. They just want to be with each other in a jerk circle, watching football and drinking light beers. They're intimidated by strong, independent women, and rather than be a man and step up to the plate and show what they can provide for a strong, independent woman and what they could do for her, they are pussies and they just go back to each other and just want to hang out with each other and don't want to put an effort towards securing a strong woman. And then all of a sudden they're 40 and they're like, why am I so lonely? I know I'm right. I know this for a fact. They just want to gamble on their sports at a bar every Friday, Saturday, Sunday with the boys. And they're 38 years old. Thank you.
This woman actually is talking about herself. Basically, men, I don't even know where to start from. So she says men don't want to be with women. They don't want to go into relationships with women. They don't want to get married. They want to hang out with the boys, drink, go to the bar, do their thing, because they are intimidated by strong and independent women. No. That is not the point. And then she goes on to say that, and then they say they are lonely because they're, men don't say they are lonely. Pray tell, on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, especially TikTok, you would find more videos of women complaining, talking about how lonely they are, looking for partners, looking for dates. Women across all ages, right? Women using TikTok as their therapy. So they set up the camera and they are talking, telling the camera, telling anybody out there about their relationship or situationship matters. And so all I see in this video, all I see is frustration. Yeah. Men are 38 and then they say they are lonely. No, that is you women. And tell me why will a man, now, when you do this video, you post it out there. If you had 0.1 chance of having a man come walk up to you and ask you out, you have ruined that chance. No man wants to come across this video and says to himself, that's my dream woman. No. So basically all she's saying, she's actually talking about herself. And that is the stark reality on ground. A lot of men are just opting out of this game because of things like this, because of women like this. They are opting out. Who wants this kind of drama? Men are not intimidated by strong and independent women. They are not. They don't want the drama that comes with strong and independent women. Because strong and independent women, whatever that means, cannot submit. And submission is a word that these women don't even want to hear. It's like a hate word. Submission is like a taboo. Don't even say it. They can't submit under to the leadership of a man. They want to be equal with the man. They want to, and it doesn't work with men. That's not the rule that works with men. So you can't be strong and independent, and it doesn't work. You can't have both worlds. So you pick your strong and independency and stay there, be by yourself, get a dog and whatever. But if you drop your strong and independency and then you cling on to submission, and then you follow, and you don't want to be a leader, and then you understand the concept that men and women are not equal, and you stay in your role and you perform your duties as and when should, trust me, it's bliss. No, I'm right, so move. Stop playing. Don't move out the seat. Move out the seat. You know what fuck it is. Nah. Get off of me. No. Get off. Make me. Get off. Why should I make you? Nah. Yo. Get off. Get off.
What's you with you, yo? Yo, what's up? What's up? You wanna fight? You wanna fight? Crazy? We supposed to have some respect for women. You fucking bitch ass motherfucker. What's wrong with you? Watch, you won't get yours. You have no respect. Yo, this fucking piece of shit. You wanna read a magazine? Huh? Piece of shit. You won't get yours, motherfucker.
Yo, what is going on? You see what they just did to the window?
You're gonna get arrested. You're getting arrested now. Now you're getting arrested. Now you're getting arrested though. Now you're getting arrested, like. You gotta call the cops now.
Just to be clear, I don't support violence on my channel, but these are real world clips that we need to talk about. This is what is really happening out there. From all of those videos, you can see how women have really gone out of control in today's world. Women smashing things, fighting each other. The whole sense of femininity has been lost. The whole sense of decorum and modesty, the modern woman don't have it. And this is what men are looking at. This is what men are saying. Like, from all of this, how do I pick? How do I even know? And how do I know who to pick, the good one to pick out of all of this bunch? So you see women clawing at each other, fighting, stripping each other naked. They are so quick to physical aggression, so quick to throwing punches and clawing at each other. It's a show of shame. It's really a show of shame. The other video where this girl is fighting with her grandmother, I really don't know what to make with that. I don't know. Now, if you studied, I'm sure if you have to look at that video very well or study that family, is basically it would probably be a single mom household. So grandmom is a single mom who's raised single daughters, and single daughters have become single mothers, and they've raised single daughters as well. Because how the hell do you have such a disrespect in the family where as a granddaughter you go and fight your grandmom? Both granddaughter and grandmom are fighting. It doesn't look like a new thing. I think that these children grew up in household like that. They grew up seeing fights and all of these disruptions like that, and it's normal to them. Yeah. And is I as a woman, I see all of these things and I really don't know. It's so overwhelming, it's exhausting. So I don't know how men are actually taking this. It's all right, kings out there. I want to drop a nugget for you. And you would notice in one of the videos where these women are fighting and all of that, even women in scarves, in hijab, the Muslim women were exhibiting the same character. And these are women from, the other side of the world where they are, we perceive that they are more controlled and all of that because of their religion. But the chance they get to go into catfight and disgracing themselves online and their husbands and families, they jump at it. Meaning that you see the form of control that a man has to have on a woman. I'm going to say something right now, and I get comments on my videos. Oh, you hate women, from women. Oh, you're a woman hater, you are a pick-me and all of that. Women don't like accountability. They don't like you to talk about their flaws. Women don't like it. And so when you voice out and speak about it, then you are a hater. I am not a woman hater. I love women and I love that I'm a woman. If I have to come to this world again, I would choose to be a woman because we have it so sweet, I tell you. I don't want to be a man. No, I don't want the responsibility of protecting and providing and all of that, fighting demons out there. No, I want to be a woman. I love being a woman, right? The whole essence of a woman, I love it. And so I am not a woman hater. But I've come to understand that women need a form of control over them. When men don't give women, when you don't have that form of control over a woman, the ability to get out of control is inbuilt in us. Now, I'm not saying a woman is an object or a puppet or a dog or like my butter in there. For women also, there should be a form of control. The moment you slack as a man, you get chaos. I'm going to drop a nugget for you, like I said. Kings out there, a woman is a woman, right? A woman is a woman, irrespective of her, education, her background, if she's traditional, if she's modern, her accomplishments, she is a woman. Her nature does not change. There are certain feminine traits that remain consistent in all women across boards. And also, nobody knows a woman better than a woman. So when a woman wants a man about another woman, he should listen. Now, this is what is called perceived insider knowledge. Because a woman understands female social behavior better and she recognizes subtle manipulation patterns. And so when a woman wants a man about another woman, he should listen. But there is a catch to this. And so what is that catch? So like I said, because a woman understands a woman better, she can spot all those subtle manipulation patterns. She can see what a man would usually miss. There is a catch to it. We cannot doubt that female to female competition is real and it is there. And so objectively, it's not automatic that whatever a woman tells you about another woman is true. Women also can misjudge other women due to jealousy, competition, projection, past traumas, and personal biases. Now, when a woman wants you about another woman, these are the questions you should ask. Don't dismiss it. She actually saw something that she's alerting you to. Don't dismiss it. The questions you should ask are, what specifically is she saying? Is there concrete evidence and is there concrete behavior? So what she's warning you about is it really concrete, right? And then is there a pattern? So if she comes to warn you about this woman and there is a pattern to what she's warning you about, then you need to, look into that thing. And then is this advice consistent across situations? If she's giving you an advice and about something about a woman or something, not really about a woman, basically, sometimes it has to do with other things, but I'm talking about woman to woman right now. If she's giving you an advice or she's cited something out to you, is it consistent across, right? If you ask, you should ask other people about it. You should present the matter to other people outside of your circle and hear what they have to say. If it is consistent with what the woman is telling you, then King, you have to act. Else, if you don't act, whatever comes, then you have to deal with it. But then, basically what I'm saying is that a woman is a woman, and a woman knows a woman better. I think I'm just yapping too much right now, but that's just a nugget I wanted to share with you, Kings, and I hope you hold on to it.
You asked about body count, coming back to body count, which was the last prompt. And you said, why do men want a woman with a low body count? And the answer is because we're not equal. And again, this is going to always be the fallacy and the flaw with feminism, because you're going to be fighting for an equality that does not exist. I'm not saying better or worse. I'm saying we are different. Now, it depends on what you want intimacy for. If you want to be out there doing it with everybody, you absolutely have your right to do that. Please be loud and proud. We want to see you coming. The men love women like that to have fun with. However, when you talk about love, when you talk about marriage, when you talk about a committed relationship, most of us, when you get to your old age, usually you have one, if you're lucky, like me, two great loves. You don't think about the string of casual sex that has been promoted and think of that like, man, I really got it all in. Most of us don't. You're free to do that if you want to, but I'm just saying, as we age, what's going to really matter is the relationships, the marriages, the families, the relationships that meant something, the intimacy that meant something. You can do as much as you want to with whoever you want to, but I do agree the way casual sex is promoted now, it is hurting us. It may be fun in the moment, but it's going to hurt us, and we're all going to pay the price for it.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing this.
Okay, so this clip is like a debate between feminists and traditional women, and questions, coming across and, and all of that, trying to understand each perspective better. Now, basically, there's a question on body count and the traditional woman trying to explain why body count affects a woman's relationship later in later in life. Now, there's so many school of thoughts on this, but one thing has been founded, which is that during sex, right, oxytocin is released. Is an hormone that is being released, and it's actually in charge of bonding, which is also present in mother child, during pregnancy, and that is why women bond with their children, between the man and the woman, and then after intimacy and all of that, they bond. Women have higher, they release more oxytocin in all of these processes. So sex also releases dopamine, which is linked to reward and pleasure. Now, repeated exposure to highly stimulating experiences, right, it can affect how the brain processes novelty and reward. So if you, as it could be a man or a woman, but more for women. When you have all of these hormones being released every time, you bond with a partner, bearing in mind this bonding or relationship are short-term relationships, which leads to high body count. So you have a 6 months here, you have a 2 months here, you have a 2 weeks here, you have a 1 week here. Every time you get together with this person, you release this hormone, and it's called an attachment detachment something. You're attached, you're detached, you're attached, and you're detached. And so your brain processes this as the way it should be, so that a woman who's lived that kind of lifestyle cannot navigate a long-term relationship. When she gets into one and she's like, oh yeah, I want to settle down with this and that, she couldn't go longer than because her brain setting is in a default setting, basically, where she has short attachment programming. And so she's in a marriage or she's in a long-term relationship. One day she just wakes up and says, I'm not happy, I want to leave, we're not compatible, I need to find myself, and all of that stuff that these women say whatever ground it is to break up a relationship or file for divorce. And so studies have shown that there is correlation between high number of premarital partners leads to lower marital satisfaction, which eventually leads to higher rates of divorce. And so any woman who's lived a lifestyle as this, in fact, basically anyone, but more for women, who's lived a lifestyle as this struggle with emotional attachment, they struggle with emotional intimacy. And that is why high body count for women is not good. A woman cannot afford to be spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes her way. It would ruin you, for tomorrow. It will ruin your future, basically. Aside from the risk of contracting all of these diseases that is flying around, psychologically and behaviorally, you miss it. Yeah, you're not just you are not stable anymore psychologically, and behaviorally it becomes a pattern for you. Yeah. So going further on this talk, in 2012, a study was published where male DNA were found in female DNA brain cells or brain tissue. But then most of the women studied had likely given birth to sons. So it is also established that when a woman gives birth to a son, the DNA of that child, especially son, stays in the body. And so most of the women that were used for that study were women who had already given birth to sons. And also there's a likely explanation about fetal microchimerism from pregnancy. Fetal microchimerism from pregnancy. And that is when a baby's DNA tissue or DNA cells, remnant of it still stays in the mother, most especially sons. That does not negate the fact that women who sleep around don't have some of this DNAs of the men's sperm in them. It's still a research that is ongoing. Science keeps evolving. We never get to the end of it. Every day we learn new things, and it doesn't negate that. So, but the main, when we bring it back home, it just means that psychologically for women, repeated emotional detachment from short-term relationships, casual sex partners, and attachment conditioning can influence relationship behavior. So women are not equal to men. A woman cannot afford to live the same lifestyle as a man. Nature has not designed it to be like that. And like the video said, the woman in the video, she said, well, if you want to be the fun thing and plaything for this man, you are welcome. The floor is yours, But then the most important part of the whole thing here is that It ruins it for women. It ruins it for the good women out there.
You don't cook and you don't clean.
No, because when the default goes for women to cook and clean in a relationship, then I think that's also why so many people are struggling in relationships, because that's labor. So compared to women's labor, compared to men's labor, if he takes care of all the bills, it's still 5 jobs compared to his.
No. My husband does blue collar work, and what I do at home is nothing compared to what he does outside the house.
Okay.
And what does your husband do for work?
Oh, he does construction.
Does he do heavy machinery, or is he more
forklift, boom lifts, all kinds of lifts? Him doing what he's doing, coming home baked, looking like a freaking lobster. I'm not gonna complain about what I do at home.
And he supports the whole family.
Absolutely. Yeah. And all I'm doing is, what am I doing? Cooking, cleaning.
What if you were working too? Like, would you want him to also clean and cook too?
He offers, but I tell him, hell no. Sit your ass down. Do not do a thing. You were just out there for like 12, 14, 16, sometimes 18 or more hours.
Oh, dang.
Why am I going to make him do all that? If it weren't for him, we wouldn't be in the building we're in. We wouldn't have the things that we have all around us.
Yeah.
So it's like they are literally the backbone to our society, building the infrastructure that we have all around us, the technology and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, so I actually put my husband on that highest level of respect when it comes to the line of work he does. Because if it weren't for him and everybody else, where would we be?
Okay, so there are biological components that make nurturing and caretaking roles deeply rewarding for many women. Roles like, activities like caring for children, physical touch, preparing meals, preparing food for loved ones, creating a safe home environment, taking care of your partner, your husband, making sure he eats healthy, making sure he's okay, he comes home to a clean house, a peaceful house, and all of that stuff. These are rewarding. It's just biologically rewarding for women. Yeah. And so when these women come up to say that doing all of these activities is labor or oppression, is what I really don't get. I don't get it. How can you... It comes naturally with women. I enjoy it, right? I have done the 9 to 5. I've lived both worlds, and I would say this and over again. I would choose this one, right? This homestead I'm doing, like being at home, homemaking basically, over and over again. There is no reward that comes with, apart from the financial reward, which is really not, we can't say that's a reward. It's just gratification, financial gratification you get from working from 9 to 5 as a woman, of which that money, you don't even use it for the family. Most times women use the money for themselves, right? That's just it. Aside from that, you have to face a lot of shit from your boss, from your co-workers, especially when you're working. It's even worse when you're working with women. If you have women colleagues, it's a hell on its own, but when you are fulfilled in your purpose as a woman, there's this peace and pleasure that comes with it. And I totally understand how that woman in the video feels like. You go to bed at night and you think about how your day had gone, and you're happy with yourself. You're happy, everybody's okay. Your husband is fine. The children are in bed, they have clean clothes, there's clean sheets on the bed, the house smells fresh, you have food, you've cooked good meals, and all of that stuff. It's so fulfilling as a woman. And basically, for most of human history, right, survival depended on women specializing in home caring, child rearing, and domestic coordination, and men specialized in protection and resource acquisition. And it's still what we have today. It's not changed, right? Women are supposed to be homekeepers, and men are built differently for resource acquisition and protection and provision. How we all got it mixed up is what I don't get, you know. So when modern day women call this oppression and labor is what I don't get. So if I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I really want to hear, you know, from you about this in the comments. So yeah, just share your thoughts in the comments.
Where? This is. Okay. Have a nice day. Hi, what's your name? Angela. Oh, nice to meet you. My name is Vyacheslav. Vyacheslav, I'm from Russia. How old are you? 29. Wow, you look like 18.
I'm 18.
18.
I can tell you something, right?
What are you doing here?
I think it's like
Ah,
yeah, I think it's
come with me. I show you one thing.
oh, okay. I'm interested, right? I think I have to answer.
I want to show you how I live.
Want to show me?
Yes.
So sorry.
Thanks. Okay. After I order taxi for you. Okay. I order boat now.
Главное, ребята, перцем не стоит. Песню, что придумали, до конца допеть. Дальний край собрались, мы в этот край таежный, только самолет.
There's this viral video that, you know, out there about this Russian man who came to Ghana and, you know, wooed women on the streets and the shopping mall and the bus stops, and takes them to his room. Records them all this while and also has sexual encounters with them, like sleeps with them, and posts it on his own social media page. It's looking at this video, I really don't know where we're headed to as a people. Now, I am not saying this only happens in Ghana. It happens across board. It happens in Nigeria. It happens in South Africa. It's everywhere, basically, where you have women. Women would immediately fall to the whims of a white man. I bet you if he was a black man, he would get rejections. Yeah. Black men get rejection compared to white men. The black woman would readily bow, you know, or do whatever the white man asks her to do than the black brother. And that is exactly what's played out in this video. Because do you see how easy it is to just get these women off the street? It's really easy. He didn't need to give them anything. It's just his number, his phone, or some there and there. They just go with him. And then they're like, some are dancing, and is that how low we have fallen as women? Is that how desperate the female gender has become for attention? And allegedly, there's a report that says that he contracted HIV and he's spreading it. So when he sleeps with these women, he does it unprotected and he's just spreading it out there. Now, this guy was able to nail 15 women in 1 week. He has everything documented. Is that how easy it has been is now for women to just be picked up from off the streets, and is it really okay? And so these women, these women will contract this. These women he slept with will also be in other relationships, right? And then if it is true that he's been spreading the HIV virus, like he's been spreading the virus, then they sleep with their other partners, and then they spread it, and then they spread it, and it just goes round and round. Men are watching this. Men are watching. Family structure is really important, and men present in a family structure the importance of men in a family, fathers, cannot be overemphasized. When a father is missing from a family structure or taken out, what you have is the chaos, the mess we have today in our society. I was raised by my parents. I came from 2-parent household, my dad and my mom, and my father's impact in my life. If I have to write a book about it, right, I would have volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume. I don't think I'll finish writing about my father and about his positive impact in my life. My dad did not live long. He's late right now, but his impact in my life and in the life of my siblings is something we feel till today, and we have passed on to our children. And so I don't understand. I don't get it. My mom couldn't have done everything she did if not for my dad. She says it. My mom tells us, she says, who I am and what I am today would not have been possible if not for your father. And that's the father I doff my heart to. I love you, Dad, wherever you are. I love you. And I will choose you over and over again. So men are needed in our society. Fathers are needed in our families. They are needed in the lives of children to raise well-rounded, adults. The lack of father is what is the problem we have today. These women don't have fathers in their life. They don't have father figures. Sometimes, you lose your dad at a young age, but then there's a man that comes in and steps in and is a father figure, and you have to submit to his leadership. The moment you don't submit to the leadership of that father figure as a woman, in fact, as a boy, but more so for women or for daughters or for girls, it's a problem. Yeah, it is. When men repeatedly see situations like this, they don't respond with outrage. No, they don't. They respond by keeping their distance. So men just keep their distance from women entirely to keep their peace and safety. All right, fellas, we've come to the end of the video, and we have watched the clips, we have seen the tone, we have seen the pattern, and let's be honest, it is exhausting. And this is why men are quiet. Men are just quiet from watching and observing all of these things. It's not because men don't want love or because they are incapable. You can't continuously question somebody's value. You can't continue to question men's value, mock their role, reduce them to utilities, and act surprised when they disengage. So, because modern dating now feels like a gamble and negotiation, it feels like a dangerous game, and men don't want to play that game anymore. It's really, really a game men are not playing anymore, and this is why men are quiet. This is why men are walking away. This is why men are keeping a distance from relationships, from marriages in these modern times with the modern woman. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.